Now, let's talk about this story, family. This is very interesting. And once again, shout out to the family members. Please feel free to hit the like button. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Share this show on your social media feed. Listen, we've talked about a lot in Isaiah Foskey a lot, who to us reminds us of Cam Jordan that was in the draft. Isaiah Foskey name came up a lot. We talked about it with Bob when he was on the show. A lot of people were in harmony with Isaiah Foskey, saying that this guy's the guy. Saints heard him. Saints picked Isaiah Foskey in the second round of the draft, brought him in here to be a future piece for the Saints defensive line. Now he'll contribute this year, but mostly probably as a rotational player. Depending on how he balls, he might step up and ball out, but I really see it kind of difficult unless he just takes it away, beating out Granderson and Peyton Turner for the spot. And we could throw Isaiah Foskey. He's behind in the curve because those other guys have several years of experience being in the NFL and being on the team. Even though Peyton Turner's most of his time was hurt, Granderson is there as well. So it's hard to kind of look past those guys, but only time will tell, right? So anyway, did you know who that nation that Isaiah Foskey is still not re-signed? He's the only Saint guy, the only Saint draft pick who hasn't signed yet. What is going on with that? And that's two topics because as we get into our next topic, we're gonna cover two. These are two defensive ends on the Saints team who need to get their bread. So Isaiah Foskey remains unsigned as it stands as we had a little bit before the season started to kick off, and hopefully the Saints can get that done. They can get Isaiah Foskey under contract. So anyway, let's look back at it. Thanks, John Sigler, from kind of giving us a scoop on this. Uh, he said, let's roll back the clock. Looked like some momentum was building towards the Saints signing their last remaining pick in 2023 in NFL draft early in June when two of the players selected in front of the Saints defensive end inked their deals within hours of another. That established a precedent we've been looking for as teams and players and agents look to market to settle any remaining contract disputes. Only a deal didn't materialize. Foskey still has not signed anything more than a month later. And when Saints rookies reporting for training camp on Tuesday, July the 18th, it's far from family members to feel a little concerned. Yeah, what's going on there? You know, what's going on with Isaiah Foskey and the Saints? And I'm not saying it's something to be terribly worried about, but usually, with everybody signed, you're like, okay, hold on, what's going on with this? Now, remember, I don't know if it's to kind of throw this in there from a historical standpoint, but a similar thing happened with Alontae Taylor. Y'all remember when Alontae Taylor got drafted? He didn't sign a deal till later on too. So this is not nothing new to us. But I remember with all of the signings that were occurring, I was like, why is Isaiah? And I remember saying to myself, and this happened like a week ago. And I'm saying to myself, did Isaiah Foskey sign his deal? Because I remember I've heard about, when Brian Breesy signed his deal. I remember when our fantastic running back from TCU signed his deal. I remember when everybody signed it, all the rest of them signed, including Nick Saldiveri. All these guys signed their deal, and I was like, okay. And then we got past the news cycle and all this other stuff. And then a week ago, I'm like, did Isaiah Foskey sign his deal? And I was remember looking back, and I was supposed to do a show about it, but I kind of got busy with some other things going on. Very busy for me right now. And then I said, yeah, you know what? Isaiah Foskey did not sign his deal, but John Sigel kind of beat me to it, and shout out to him for kind of putting a really good article together, kind of dropping some game on us. But let's look at it. Only a deal didn't materialize. It's a little concerning, but it isn't a problem. Unique to Foskey and the Saints, per NFL salary cap analyst Miguel Benzine says that 23 of 31 of the first round picks have signed their rookie deals. That's 74.1%. And almost 95% majority of the league's third round picks are under contract. And almost 94% of the fourth round picks have signed. Everyone selected in the fifth, sixth, and seventh rounds have put pen to the paper. So they're all signed. It's about the second round. It's all about the second rounds. Benzane's research found that only 19 of the 32 players have signed with their teams. That's just over 59%. When more unsigned round picks, 13 than any other round combined. What is it about? That's 12 of them. So what is it about that second round? So Foskey isn't the only second round draft pick dragging this out. So we saw the same thing last year. And I mentioned that Alante Taylor, who didn't sign until July the 19th. Why is the second round such a minefield in NFL contract negotiations? It's a trend, right? Because most of the important figures in NFL rookie contracts lengths per year salary are now tied to the draft slots. There aren't many points left for teams and agents to haggle over. The remaining hurdles center on the contract guarantees, offset language in case the player is released before the 4 year deal expires, leaving the Saints with some dead money to pay out. Foskey is projected to receive a fully guaranteed third year in his contract, but that's something the Saints and his representatives are likely debating. Cash flow, guaranteed trigger dates, and signing bonus structure are also points of contention. Get your money, brother. Get your money and get that on paper. So I think Isaiah Foskey is going to be all right. But let's look at the second rounders in their contract status. Six of the players taken in front of Foskey have signed with their teams, but 10 of the 12 rookies selected immediately after him have not, including the next 8 in a row. His agents probably represent some of those players as well. And the president, they'll set and negotiate his contract with Orleans will impact their discussion with the other teams. They owe it to their clients to get the best deal, even if it means drawing out the negotiations with some teams late into the summer. So, good information. The good news is the frustrating contract holdouts and public disputes we've seen before are a thing of the past because so many factors in contract negotiations are standardized under the NFL collective bargaining agreement. It's only a matter of time until the Saints get Foskey to sign on the dotted line. He's been a full participant in the offseason program so far and is expected to report on time, do everything he can find, do everything he can to find sex with the team, kicking off training camp later this week. Hopefully, the team can formally put a pin in this, and put a pin in his hand and sign sooner rather than later. So, absolutely. So, yes, this happened before, and I remember saying in my head before reading this, talking about this article. I remember like, hey, hold on, Alante Taylor did the same thing. Alante Taylor did the same thing last year until they finally signed his deal. So success, Saints have a lot of success with our second rounders, man. Hopefully we can have Isaiah Foskey to come in and have a similar impact like we've seen with Alante Taylor in terms of to the team, even though he's reporting to a room where they're looking for another starter opposite of Cam. So it's not a guy sitting ahead of him that he has to sit behind and wait for him to get old there. If he performs, he's in the mix, but you got to look at it with Peyton Turner and Carl Granderson leading the race with Peyton Turner there because of the first round draft pick coming into his third year. Isaiah Foskey's a rookie, so he'll have to kind of learn behind and contribute as a rotational guy eventually, but you never know. Injuries could occur, which give Isaiah Foskey an opportunity to see the field more. And that's not something that's beyond the realm of possibility because we have seen this happen before in our defensive end situation where guys picked up and played more minutes or more reps because of injury. Carl Granderson was one of those dudes. So he took advantage of that. Isaiah Foskey should too. So we'll monitor this situation and see what happens. But I anticipate Isaiah Foskey and the Saints to get this deal done, sooner rather than later. You know what I'm saying?